You've probably heard the phrase, time is money. Well, turns out it's a lie. You can always make more money. That's something that Tim Ferriss says. As you probably know from listening to the show, I am absolutely obsessed with productivity and getting the best bang for my buck. And when I say buck, of course, I mean time. This is one of the reasons that I'm really hesitant to go to in-person networking events, especially living in LA. The traffic is really challenging. But while the internet has provided a ton of amazing educational content, networking and in-person relationships are a huge part of the real estate business still. So if you're going to be going to these events, you want to get absolutely as much out of it as you can. So today we're going to talk about 3 strategies that you can do to really maximize your time in these networking events. Number 1, which is by far the most important, have a clear plan. If you're going to spend 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. going to a networking event, take 10 minutes beforehand and write down what absolutely you want to get out of this event. In my opinion, if you aren't getting at least $2,000 worth of value for your time spent going to this thing, your time is probably better spent somewhere else. Now, granted, this is about 10 to 100 times the ticket price of most networking events. But if you can write this down, what you would need to get $2,000 worth of value out of this event, you're going to find out something pretty fascinating, which Dan Sullivan talks about, which is that your eyes can see and your ears can hear only what your brain is looking for. When you write this stuff down, it's going to clarify what you're trying to get out of this, and also your ears are going to perk up when you hear someone that meets that profile. So is it a borrower? Is it a lender? Is it an appraiser? Is it an investor? Is it someone you want to co-author a book with? Once you start to iron those things out, it becomes much easier to identify those people when you meet them. Number 2, don't make networking events a business card pray and spray party. Very much the opposite. There are 2 things that you can usually get out of every event, and if you do that, you'll be well on your way to getting that $2,000 worth of value. Number 1, one meaningful relationship. That's one person that you actually get to know, that you actually have an interest in getting to know later down the road, personally and professionally. Number 2, one meaningful connection. And what I mean by that is while you're talking to someone, if you hear that they may be a great one meaningful relationship for someone else, make that connection. Because if you do that, they will likely reciprocate, and then you'll be well on your way to getting that $2,000 worth of value. If you can connect one person to someone else that might be their 10x or 100x investment on their night, then you start hearing things like, oh, you invest in self-storage? I have to get you connected to Hunter Thompson. That's the way things really start to multiply. Number 3, if you're going to go to a networking event, make sure it's the type of networking event that you can see yourself going to regularly. If it's a good fit for you, then go consistently. That's the way that you're actually going to see the value out of these events. Because that's when people start to get to know you. You feel more confident walking into a room that people are familiar with. They know what you do. They know what you're looking for. And then those connections start to come much more naturally. And the reason I'm sharing this stuff with you is that this is something I've struggled with. I used to go to networking events all the time. I didn't follow these steps. I didn't really get a lot out of them and just wasted my time. But I'm telling you, if you can look for that $2,000 value, your ears and your eyes can only see what your mind is looking for. Hopefully that helps. All right, listeners, you know the routine. This show is all about learning, making wise investments, and protecting and growing your capital. So if you're interested in these topics, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Of course, if you've already enjoyed a couple of great episodes, don't be shy. Leave a review. It really helps the show's visibility. And lastly, if you're an accredited investor and you're interested in learning more about our investment opportunities, the types of deals that I personally invest in, go to asymcapital.com. That's ASYMcapital.com. Thanks a lot.